My brand story. I have been in the hair industry my whole life. I graduated from hair school at the age of 17 years old, and by 19, I was already building a clientele and a name for myself. But something was happening that I could not ignore. My hair was thinning. Not a little, a lot. Right at the top where everyone could see it. I could not hide it under a sewing anymore. I could not cover the tracks. And I was a hairstylist. My hair was supposed to be my business card. What I did not know at the time was that I had hyperthyroidism. I would not find that out until I was about 27. But at 20, all I knew was that my hair was leaving and I had to figure out something fast. This was not even the first time. At the age of 14, stress would bring on bald spots from alopecia areata. So hair loss and we had a history. But this time, I did not just cope. I got to work. I studied. I took class after class, about 10 different classes, watching how women like Janet Jackson wore fusion and how Beyonce wore wigs, and you couldn't tell the difference. That is exactly what I wanted. Not just for myself, but for every woman who would eventually sit in my chair. I became obsessed with one thing, making it look like it was my hair. No stiff parts, no sprayed on color, trying to fake a hairline, no looking at someone and knowing. I wanted you to walk out of my salon and have people wonder just what you did different, not what you were wearing. In 2006, my sister and I started Dee Daughter's Lace Wig Boutique online, selling hair and wigs. The name came from our mother's initials, Dee, and from a love of legacy businesses that had daughters in the name. Businesses built by women, for women, passed down with pride. My sister ran the website and I sourced the hair and bought the expertise. Eventually, she stepped away and I kept going. I opened the salon and I never looked back. Over the years, my hair journey kept teaching me thyroid disease, miscarriages, and then breast cancer, chemotherapy, and now frontal fibrosis and alopecia, where my hairline doesn't grow back ever. I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I am just telling you this because when I sit in my chair, you are not sitting across from someone who read about hair loss in a book. You are sitting across from someone who has lived every chapter of it. I know the fear. I know the grief. I know what it feels like when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. I know what it feels like to look in the mirror and feel like yourself again. This is what Dee Daughter's Lace Wig Boutique is built on. For over 17 years, right in Philadelphia, PA, in the Willow Grove area, I have served from Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, Texas, as far as Canada, women who needed more than a hairstylist. They needed someone who understood. And now, approaching about 50 years old, I'm ready to do more. Through Wig Whisper Academy, I am teaching the next generation of beauty professionals how to build the same kind of practice, how to serve hairstylists and clients with compassion and confidence, how to build insurances without having your clients leaving money on the table, how to make a living from this career. And because of this work, we don't just do hair. It's not just about hair. It never was. It's about knowing how someone feels to see themselves as themselves again. And I spent my whole life in doing exactly that. I am Aisha. This is Dee Daughters. And this is just my beginning.